Good stuff.
One, and we are live somewhere.
We want to be able to share it out, and there we are.
We're there. There we are.
We're there. We're here. We're everywhere.
Well, not everywhere.
Well, we will be.
But still, I mean, we're where we need to be. Put it that we're right where you want us to be. We're not in creepy places, so don't worry about looking under your bed.
No, we're not in the weird, creepy places at all. We're in the good places. So, it's been a little while. You know, we're trying to be regular. We need, yeah. So,
we're right. It's been a little while. It was last week.
No, we missed last week. We were on the week before.
How did we miss last week?
We missed last week for a reason, and I remember it being like, yes, because I've been sick for a week and a half and I was not feeling well. So, yeah, we missed last week.
Why does it feel like we did something last week?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyhow, we're back this week with another show. And tonight's show is kind of going to be a little bit interesting. Hey, Ellen, I see that you made it, at least. Let me see who else has made it. Give us a hey, hi, how are you? If you're here, the hey, hi, how are you is kind of one of my favorite greetings as of late.
Hey, hi, how are you? Oh, good to know.
Sounds almost yeah. I won't go there. It's a joke. It's not a very good joke either.
Oh God.
Evelyn is coming.
I am so yeah. So we got some good stuff to talk about, definitely, and we need to get back in the thick of it. I have been sick for a week and a half, so this is good. I need something else to get me out of this. So we definitely. I'm looking forward to talking about this hot topic coming up later, our call out culture, because you know what's so great about these things? Sometimes we think we know things, but we don't really know them. And when you and I do research on topics, we always learn a little bit more. And that's what this is all about. So I learned a little bit more in this hot topic.
I did too, and unfortunately, I didn't learn what I thought I wanted to learn. It was completely different than what I expected, which I guess that's good because that's exactly why we do these things. We don't know everything about everything, so when we do research, a lot of times we do find out things that we never knew.
Yeah,
and to be honest with you, the more I learned about this topic, the less and less I liked this topic. But that does not give us a reason not to talk about it. In fact, if anything, it gives us more of a reason to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we're definitely going to have to call out the call out culture, and we're going to have to determine, well, is this the trap that we're falling into? Is this a culture that we're falling prey to? And as long as we know about it ahead of time, then maybe, just maybe, we can make the conscious decision whether or not to change that or not, and decide whether or not it's for us or not.
Absolutely. And I guarantee you, watching this, you may think you know exactly what this is about, but I guarantee you're going to learn something new, or something's going to make you think. And then we're going to end that hot topic off with like a few things, like 4 things that you can think about, when this whole call out thing, or maybe you're considering calling somebody out or a group out or whatever it is. So stick around, because guaranteed you're going to learn something about this. So, but before we get to that.
Yes.
Free for all. Free for all.
And then, of course, everybody's really digging the whole his and hers thing too, and we got that coming up here in a little bit. I know that's one of my favorite sections, because we get to riff on whatever we want to riff on, and you don't know what I want to riff about, and I don't know what you want to riff about. So it's kind of becoming it's my favorite segment, and I know it's getting to be some of the other people's favorite segments. So that's coming up here in a little bit. But until then, we're just going to
Catch up. And I need to catch you up on something.
Oh yeah, what do we need to
Okay,
catch up?
so remember a while back when I talked about, and I asked the audience, I asked everybody for help about, I had two people I want to introduce to each other.
Yes.
Remember that? So
Yes.
would you like an update on
I
this?
would love an update. Did you do this? Did you? Oh wow, that would. Yes, we need an update. Tell us what happened.
So a while back at the end of March, just to catch people up, back at the end of March, I went to New York for a week, work wise. Started out meant to be work wise. And I met this woman there. And I thought she was pretty cool. Perhaps it was going to be, be involved business wise somehow. But I thought she would be great to introduce to a friend of mine. And so, but I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know whether I should just kind of like throw them together, like introduce them, like through messaging, or what to do. So I put it out on one of our shows, asking all of you, our awesome audience, what should I do? Should I just introduce them? Should I ask her first if it was okay? So, here's what I did. I asked her first. I sent her a message. It was great to meet you. And that I had this friend that I wanted to introduce her to, and I thought that they would be a good match. And what should I do? So that's what I did. I told her about him first, and so anyway, I am so glad I did that, and not just introduce them.
She's married.
Nope.
Oh
my God. I think she is I am so glad, because I would have just spawned nothing but trouble, I think, on him. She is
the trainer.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. And I actually think that this person has some mental health issues, and I really do. So this person has, in the short time since I met her at the end of March, so here we are a month later, she is, we became friends on Facebook. She unfriended me. She requested to be my friend again and has since blocked me.
So that reminds me of a certain individual that we both know. Someone who came on my other show, Mr. TJ Basham. Sounds like those two might have been a better choice to put together than, wow.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Flaky.
I'm so glad that you took the time to get to know this person a little bit better, because the gentleman that you were talking about, and thank you for sharing that person with me.
Yes.
Because knowing how he is, because I know him very well too.
Can you imagine?
That poor guy would have hated you for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah.
And he is someone who absolutely adores you right now.
Oh my God. I would have felt horrible.
You dodged a double barrel shotgun right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you watched that episode, that is the update on, I really do think that she's got some mental health issues. I really, really because no one could be like that, really.
Well, I don't know. You're probably right, though. She probably does have some
without getting into details,
yeah. But then I did find out that not all bad I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a specific something. Not all interactions with people, that first interaction, they say that first impressions are the key to creating a relationship, but not all first impressions are right.
That's right. Oh God, yeah.
This is a case where that holds so true. I mean, you met this person, you thought they were a good person, you thought that she was someone who is going to be someone that maybe you could work with in the future.
Yeah, so cool. Oh yeah.
Then you find out that she was, well, in medical terms, batshit crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, like oh.
I wish she watched this show because she would know who she is. Not nobody else
But
would,
see,
and
I don't know. Well, maybe, yeah, because I'm talking about
yeah,
introducing. But oh no, she has blocked me. She has blocked me.
she has blocked you now though. That is so funny. So I
Yeah, there
want to
was
say,
like a whole story, like a whole story. It's one of those, those memes you see, like, guys, you go to bed and, and by the time you wake up in the morning, your girlfriend's had like, had a fight with you, thrown you out, accused you of, screwing around. That funny meme that you see going around. And and she's made up
yeah.
with you and argued with you. And that's what she was like. That's,
Oh, she
that's
did
what
that to
this was.
you, even though it wasn't. I mean, wow. I mean, it's like I don't want to be a friend. I want to be a friend. I don't like you no more. Block you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you can't get more. That's like tripolar. That's not even bipolar. That's like tripolar. There's so many
Yeah.
different polars there. And I
Oh
understand.
yeah, I'm accused of
We
accused
do
of conspiracy and oh yeah. So
conspiracy.
I'm so glad that I asked first. Well, I'm glad she actually said not right now
Yeah.
because if she had said sure, I would have, and I still wouldn't have known at the time. So
Yeah, and then this poor gentleman that
oh,
we both know so well would be cussing you currently right now,
ugh.
as he'd probably be trolling the show. That's really how it would have gone. He would have had to troll the show just to tell you how messed up you are for doing this to him. He
Yeah.
would have asked you, "Why do you hate me so much?"
I know. I think I'm a really bad judge of character. I don't know. I think I somewhat am. I don't know.
Well,
Or
I
I
don't think
just see the good in everybody. I think that's what
I-
happens is I see the good in everybody.
that's
And then
an
I'm
Aries trait, though. That
yeah,
that is something that Aries are horrible at. They do want to believe that there is good in everybody,
I just
and
so
we look at
do.
that. We put the blinders on to the bad shit because we believe that with the right guidance and the right leadership, that be us, the Aries, with the right guidance and right leadership, the good can come out of anybody.
Yeah, yeah. And then when it doesn't, you're just so floored. I'm so floored and disappointed. But anyway,
I
lucky
am so
enough, I
happy
know
that
tons of great people. So
the man deserves so much better. I mean, he has got a
yeah,
heart of gold, and he's an absolute genius. So
yeah,
I'm not going to go any further than that. But
yeah.
let's say hello to Miss Evelyn. She is in the house. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for popping in.
Whoop
And
whoop.
my sister Stacy has joined. Hello.
Awesome.
And Lorraine, wow, all the people that are just so, and Bill, thank you, Bill. And if I can't see you on here, please shout out. Oh, and Donna Messenger, Mom is on with us. Hey, Mom, how you doing? And please say hello because we love to see you guys, see
Yeah,
who's
because
on
we
here.
can't always see everybody. So if you say hey, then say hey.
Good
We want to
Lord.
talk to you. We want to know who's around. And we're going to have swag coming out soon. I'm going to do up a couple things to test out. And you're supposed to be getting
Yep.
some from somebody too. But
We are. We're going to
yeah.
be doing a lot of fun stuff.
Hmm.
It's just like we are not that far away from you coming here and doing a live show downtown Rapid City, summer nights, hot summer nights.
I
That's gonna
can't
be so
frickin' wait. I can't frickin' wait till summer. Oh my
I
God,
can't
it's so
wait.
nice
I
and warm
can't wait
today.
till you're sitting right next to me because you're going to be sitting there and we're going to be talking about something and your face is just going to go blue, just switch to red because I'm going to do something so obscene and you're going to be, it's just going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually this guy's freaking cohort. It's just, can't believe I've stuck with him for this long. And when I say this long, I mean, we are going on a year, like literally just round the corner.
Next week.
Yes.
Next week will be our 1 year. And we're so bad. Like we don't even have anything planned to celebrate that deal. It's actually going to be after the day after our show next week. But we're definitely going to have something, and we're definitely going to have some prizes. So you're going to want to watch because I'm going to be sending out some gift cards. I'm telling you. So you have
And
to watch.
I think I'm going to have a song. I'm
Oh,
going
really?
to have a song prepared for this momentous
Well, it's a
occasion.
big deal. It's a big deal a year. Like it's gone by like, it just seems like not that long ago we were talking about, hey, you want to do a show? Do you think we should do a show together?
Let's put that into perspective for a second, though, because I think a lot of people think, well, it's just a year, it's not a big deal. But in this world, it is huge.
Oh,
When
fuck
you
yeah.
consider most people, in the numbers, there's no exact numbers. There's so many podcasts out there and online radio shows, things like that. There's so many that start up every single day.
Oh, yeah. I see them all the time.
And we're talking thousands per day, and they don't see a second episode. You see hundreds of thousands a year that start up and don't get past episode 6 or 7. So the fact that we're coming up on a year, and we've done we've done different topics all year long and have had nothing but such an amazing audience to do this for. That is something to celebrate.
Yeah, it's huge. It's freaking huge. And yeah, I just can't believe it. And we've got people who have been here from the beginning watching. We've had a really great core group of people. We have some people that, that were here from the beginning, left for a little while and have come back. But we've always got some new people that come on board, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Alana's like, can you sing?
You have to go back and look at oh god, I don't even remember what episode that was, but CJ has sung twice on episodes.
If here's the thing about singing. I absolutely love to sing. So when I go out, like say to karaoke and things like that, I actually sing. I love to sing. But when I do stuff like on the show, like when I did the penis song, I'm having fun with that. I still love to sing, but I'm going to do that in a character, and I'm going to have fun with it. So there's a whole lot of things that go on in this noodle up here. So don't judge me on just one time. Evelyn was actually there during one of the songs, I believe, and
yes,
it was her who actually commented, "Don't quit your day job." So thank you for that, Evelyn. I didn't quit my day job. I listened to you. I still have the same day job. So yay for me. So, and Stacy, she knows she's been there. She's been my duet partner for years and years and years and years. So yeah, we do sing from time to time. Yeah, I am going to have a song prepared.
Cool.
For our 1 year mark.
Cool. Hey, I think definitely it calls for that. That is huge. It's so much different now than when you and I started. There's a lot of people who start and really want they want so much right away, and then they stop doing it, and what's known as pod fade, because they don't get that instant gratification or whatever it is that they're looking for. But so yeah, a year is huge. Definitely need a song. But yeah, we're gonna have a giveaway. I'm saying that now. You're gonna have a chance to win some gift cards. So you're gonna have to join us here next Thursday night and watch, and you're gonna have to participate. You're gonna have to at least comment once, and you will be entered to win a gift card. And yeah, we got to celebrate. It's a party.
You touched on something though. I just want to kind of piggyback on that instant gratification part. I think a lot of people, and this isn't just in podcasting, this is in anything that a lot of people pick up. It could be hobbies, it could be their jobs, it could be whatever. But in podcasting in particular, that instant gratification, I think a lot of people look at it as when they get into it, they first start off with this intention that they're going to use this to make money,
Oh
whether it be
yeah.
sponsorships or whatever. They think they're going to make money with this. I did get instant gratification when I started podcasting. It had nothing to do with money, though. It was always about
Me too.
the audience. The audience is what gives me my instant gratification. So going into tonight, I will admit I was feeling like ass. I was like, oh, I don't
Feeling
know if
like
I can
ass.
do this. I don't know. Oh my God, this is going to be horrible. I hate this topic. And then all of a sudden, we turn the lights on. We get ready to rock and roll. We're here live, and there you guys are. And it was like the energy just came rushing back into me. Do you get that
CJ.
feeling? Do you
Oh,
get that feeling though when we go live?
fuck, totally. And you do this. I don't know. There's podcasters and there's not non-podcasters. I mean, it just, and it's just,
Everybody can do this.
oh
Not
yeah,
everybody should do this, is what we're
that's
saying.
right. Oh, I've always said that. Absolutely. And it's if you just cannot imagine your life without doing it, that's how you just know that. And there's times where I've been off doing it when I first started way back, and we're coming up this Monday marks 9 years of me since I started. And, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how much I would love it. And then I took time off and it was like, oh my God, I have to get back to it. And there's been little breaks and you just know that there's no doubt in your mind that you have to do it. And there's some people, and you don't know until you do it. And
Yeah.
I've talked to some people that, oh, I really want to start a podcast. I really, really want to do it. And they start and it's like, no, it's just not for me. And you don't know till you start doing it. So you just have to start, and it doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be all polished and none of that. You do it because you love it. And if any time it's your thought is to make a ton of money, and yes, you can, but if that's your primary thought, then don't even do it.
Yeah, you've got to be there first and foremost for the audience. You really do. And Lynn, she just put, I look forward to seeing your show every week. And it goes both ways. It really does. We look forward to being able to converse
you guys,
you every single week, because
Yeah.
a lot of, for me, that's the most I get to talk to the people through Facebook, because I don't post as much as I used to. I try to stay away from Facebook during the day just because it gets distracting, and I don't necessarily need to spend 2 hours out of my work day when I should be working on Facebook. So I don't post
really?
nearly.
You don't? Like, isn't that more fun? Unless I bug you.
Right.
Send you messages.
For the most part, I try to stay off Facebook, and so this show is my way of being able to definitely get involved and be part of a community that we've worked hard to build. And honestly, we wouldn't be able to continue building it without the help of each and every one of you, and especially Miss Alyn. Thank you very much to her for everything that she's been doing for us. We brought her on board as a virtual assistant or
Operations manager.
Operations manager. There we go. I'm not very good with titles. So, but when we brought her on board, it just stepped up our game like 100%. The graphics that she's been sharing, the research she's been doing, it has absolutely been phenomenal. 100%.
Very helpful. Oh God, yeah. So
awesome. I want to make sure that we give her the recognition and the props and the thank yous that she deserves for that.
So make sure you join us next week for party
time. Excellent.
So we still got our hot topic coming up later on. Our call out culture. Guaranteed you're going to learn something about that, because we did. And if we learn something new, you're going to learn something new. So stay tuned for that. If you have to run off for a bit, okay, fine. But come back for the hot topic, because we really want your input on that.
Yes, we
So
do.
we're going to jump into the his and hers topic. And you go first because I'm still trying to decide.
And we'll go first because this okay, so there's this thing going around. I put this post out there the other day. It says what taboo topics. I should just pull up the post, but I'm not gonna. What taboo topics should we be talking about? Basically, is what I said.
Yeah.
And I have not had this much engagement on a post in a long, long time. I mean, there's like 140 some odd comments, which was overwhelming because I didn't realize people had so much that they want to hear about. And when I put these posts out, I don't do it necessarily just to pick and choose a bunch of topics and make my job easy by just, oh, okay, we'll talk about that. I really do this so I know what people want to talk about, what they want to listen to, what they want to be involved with. And some of the topics, okay, some of the topics were just, yeah, no, we're not going to go there. It wasn't because that they wouldn't be good topics of conversation, but they're not a hot topic thing.
And they're not taboo.
They're not taboo. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're not taboo. They're not the hard
Surfing and beach bums is not a taboo topic that we need to start more conversation around.
However, there's one that I liked that I thought this would be kind of a cool topic. But then again, I got to thinking, you know what? I think it's more of a his and hers segment than a hot topic. And that was the one where gentlemen, and I'm actually going to get more in detail on this on another show, but for tonight, for this purpose, I wanted to bring it up. And that was a man's penis size being directly related to his confidence.
Yeah.
So that and the reason why I wanted to bring that up because I thought that would be kind of a cool his topic, type of thing.
Well, it is a his topic.
It is definitely a his topic or his subject or his prop, whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, I've heard this a lot in to the point at one time when I was just starting out as a bartender years ago, the boss that I had, Mr. Terry Panconen, amazing guy. He's passed away, and one of the people who really helped me kind of focus my life in a direction I want to go in. And I wasn't always extremely outgoing with people. I mean, I could talk to people, but I was kind of in this shy shell.
Oh my God.
And he's the one that helped me break out of that.
Wow.
Yeah. And
we need to thank this person.
Yes, we do.
I wish we could.
That's why I named him. That's why I put a name to him because he does deserve a lot of credit. But he basically told me, look, you have to walk into this bar and you run this bar because you're the only bartender here. You have to believe you got the biggest dick in the room. You feel that way. You know it. You're the most confident person in the world. So he kind of started that whole, well, he didn't start it, but he kind of threw that in my head that, big penis means big confidence. I don't know if I believe it though. I mean, I think confidence comes from just knowing yourself and getting to know yourself. The more you get to know yourself, the more confident you can be. But I think there might be something to that though. I think, I mean, I'm not saying I'm sitting around in men's locker rooms like, yeah, that guy's a confident guy. Look at him.
That's good code when you're out with your girlfriends. Look at how confident that guy is.
So, ladies, yeah, you could use that one.
Is that a sock or is that confidence? Yeah.
Oh my God, I need tissues now. So
here, you want one?
Yes, I need one. Oh wow, that's the first time I've ever needed a tissue on our show. But seriously now, trying to bring this back. Let's rein it in here. Is it
okay?
What do you think in the chat? What do you guys think? Do you think that a man's confidence has a direct correlation to the size of the package he's taking to the bringing to the party, or do you think it's purely something that confidence grows as person matures and gets to know themselves?
Are you really saying that?
Absolutely.
Confidence grows.
Okay. I see where you're going there. Oh wow, ladies and gentlemen, lost Lynn. And I know we've got a gentleman here watching the show. And
oh my God, I'm dying.
Bill, what do you think? What do you say? Are you a confident guy? So there you have it. That
oh
was
my God.
my hit topic. What do you think? Do you think that there's a direct correlation, or do you think that maybe that's?
I don't think in life. I don't think it. I think it. Well, I mean, kind of hard to speak for men, but I don't know that there's a direct correlation in terms of how they move through life. I think there are two things that men are. I don't know what the right word or term is, that are heavily identify with or tied to or something, and that is what they do. So usually you find men that retire are very lost because their identity is very much wrapped up in what they do for work.
Right.
So that and size. I think those two things are very much linked to their confidence and identity. But excuse me. I think it's more in the moment, an intimate moment, that may, or a relationship. But I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not a man, so I can't.
I do know that, but in coaching men, having coached men, through personal training and personal development, there's a confidence is one of those really tricky things. The reason why I say personally, I don't think it correlates whatsoever is because I think you have a lot of men who are capable of putting on a show of confidence. They're very capable of creating an aura of confidence around themselves, even though they're very insecure people.
Yeah.
Now, if we were to switch that word security and insecurity with confidence, then I think there might be a correlation there. The size of the penis and security, because men who are more well endowed, they are more secure in their skin. That's just one less thing that they have to try to explain away when the lights go out. Or are they the type that can leave the lights on and be perfectly fine with that? So I mean, check that one too, ladies. I mean, look at that. Do they need to have the lights out, or are they okay with just leaving the lights on and saying, "Yep, here I am"? Because
that's interesting. When you say exchange, switch up the word confidence with security. That's interesting.
I mean, I'm not look at it from. I'm trying to think about it from the female perspective. In the point of, yes, when you go to bed, where is that that security? Is do they have to have a security blanket, like turning the lights off? Do they crawl in bed and kind of hide their package?
I don't think you can really hide that. I mean, if you've got women, if you're kind of like, if you're one of those ones that wants the lights off because you're kind of high, I think you can like be in a certain way where it doesn't, the feeling and what you think you look like can be two different things. You just can't hide from.
You can't.
Lack of lights make no difference in that deal. Like
but it
when you're gonna lights don't make no difference when you're.
No, it don't. But
gripping
at the same time,
when you're touching,
grip and rip. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, but it's an interesting thing. See, I don't have issues with my body, so I'm not self-conscious and I can walk around with the lights on naked. But if I was somebody who did, maybe if I was, didn't have boobs or something, like, I don't know if that would be the same type of thing.
Okay, so let's put this in a feminine perspective then. Is there a part of the body that
Makes you feel
that makes you feel more confident or more powerful? Maybe larger breasts versus smaller breasts or whatever. Is there something for women?
well, I think if you've women that I've heard stories or talked to that, maybe after having to have a mastectomy because of breast cancer and struggling with their feeling, feminine or like a woman, and they no longer have breasts. So I don't know. I can't see comments, so I missed out.
Okay, so I'm just gonna Olympics, you know how much it fills your hand.
Yes.
I guess at a certain point, it's like, it's a half a hand, a full hand, or a hand and a half. I don't know. But yeah, I think but getting back to the male perspective, does the size of the penis equal the size of their confidence?
I think it makes a difference. I think it has to make a difference because I think men would have issues, body issues, the same way women would if they're self-conscious or feel a certain way. I'm sure men have to.
So, and we gotta, it's not what you got, it's how you use what you got. And laughing out loud. Yeah, absolutely right. You definitely
no.
You definitely have to be able to use what you do have. You have to be able to use what you have, especially if you don't have as much.
Yeah, but there's some point where they can't do much. So, really.
I suppose there's that too. And then, Mr. Dave Maresca has joined us and has put his 2 cents in as well. And then,
so there's another male point of view.
There is another male point of view. So it says it matters the first time you're naked in front of someone else, but when you don't get any complaints, you figure it's all good. So absolutely all good. But then again, she might just be nice. She might be that person that's afraid to demasculate you. I don't know. I think
when it comes right down to it, I think superficially or out there, I think people are pickier than they really are, if that's like the right word. People say, "Oh, I like this, I like that," but really, when it comes down to it, I think it's it's touching and connection that really is what people really want.
Yeah.
Toys, you could always use that. I think, so I don't think there's going to be like, oh, really, when it comes down to it. I mean, you could say, oh, yeah, look at that person looks hot or that, or, you like to look. Who doesn't like to look at something that's appealing, right? And what's appealing to different people is different for everybody. But when it comes down to it, I think it's much deeper than that.
Well, Evelyn says we're overthinking the whole thing. I
always love Evelyn's perspective.
Oh, the only way you can overthink the whole thing is if there's not much there to think about in the first place. And then, of course, Dave comes back. Some people are also just more free-spirited. We had a naked day at my college.
What?
I should have gotten to that college.
Really?
May 1st, everyone would strip down and run around naked for the day. May 1st, huh?
Well, I think May 3rd is Naked Gardening Day. No, May 6th is actually World Naked Gardening Day.
So, there you go.
There you go.
If you got it, flaunt it. If you don't have it, flaunt it anyways.
Yeah, whatever.
That's all I got for
Anyway, that's interesting. But I did see that post that guy made, and he obviously has some experience in that and working with people. That it's very much, and maybe for some people it is. maybe for some people it very much is tied, like it is for, say, some women who really struggle with body image and not feeling good about themselves and all of that. So who knows, right? But yeah, I saw that. I thought it was interesting.
And Dave, you better be careful with that videotape. I'm assuming that somebody might not be happy if that got leaked to the public, especially if they decide to run for president someday. Anyhow, we're going to be moving on. It is it is time for her topic. So Lynn, what do you have for us?
Well, mine really isn't as exciting as yours,
What are you
really.
talking about? They're all exciting.
Well, it's just something that I've been seeing a lot of. And it's really, I don't know, I always thought it was kind of odd. And that is I see a lot of people post pictures of their kids in vulnerable situations or not the most flattering or whatever, and posting it. And then I came across this article about actually how dangerous that can be, because it actually gives away a lot of information about your kids. So, and it's kind of surprising to me that, okay, so I'll give one example. I've been seeing, I guess kids are getting braces. A lot of kids are getting braces right now. And they take x-rays and they stick these things in so it opens your mouth. I mean, it's really not a flattering picture, and kids are laying there and their mouths are like, their lips are spread apart and all this stuff. And I just find it funny that people actually think about taking this picture of their children to post on social media. And do you ask permission of your kids before you do that? I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing. And I got to thinking about that. All these pictures I'm seeing in kids that are like really upset and they've like hurt themselves, and we're taking pictures and we're posting it on social media. And I just think back to like when I was a kid, and if I would have liked that, and are we asking their permission? I don't know. It's just all kind of weird to me. I've never done that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done anything like.
No, I don't see you post shit like that.
I said I post pictures of my kids, because I'm super
I have too.
And and post pictures of my kids in sometimes embarrassing situations. However, I always like to announce, hey, this is going on Facebook. Now, if they freak out, like, no, you can't put that on Facebook, I won't put it on Facebook. But there's been times where, like, me and my daughters, we do silly things. It's just they happen. For example, wearing a pink boa and big sunglasses, and stuff like that. We'll do things like that. And I was the one wearing the pink boa, by the way, not my daughter. So we'll do things like that, and it's fun.
That's fun. Yeah.
But I can see what you're saying, though, especially going into, say, if your child is laying in the hospital, and the picture that you're posting is something that they're ashamed of or whatever, I can see where that could be potentially harmful mentally and psychologically for them. But I think it's our job as parents, though, to help strengthen their psyche. It's one thing to raise a child that is very unsure and very insecure, but it's another thing to support that child, to recognize that child is insecure, and do what you can to help support that child. And I think that's one of the things I think we as parents in some situations have failed, is we're trying to be friends with our kids rather than being parents. And we forget that it's part of our jobs as parents to support that psyche, to help them grow that psyche and become stronger.
Yeah. I just find it very interesting. It just always made me think, when sometimes I'll see a picture and I'll think, I would not be thinking of doing that in the moment. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just find it very interesting. And And a lot of times, yeah, it's at the expense of people's kids. And, I'll give you another example, which I think it's Jimmy Kimmel does that thing every year on Halloween, and parents like videotape their kids telling them that they ate all their candy or threw out their candy or whatever. And you see these videos of kids that are devastated. See, I find that horrendous. Like, I can't even watch that. I don't even find it funny.
Oh man, I think that's funny because you see the video, but you don't see the end result. The end result is a happy ending.
I would hope, but I find it awful to watch these kids actually, like, we think it's funny as adults because it's a joke, but they're genuinely upset. And I think that's a little twisted that we are entertained. But anyway.
And Dave brings up one here, nude baby pictures. Nude baby pictures could definitely be something that's maybe a kid later on. Even yet at the time, yeah, they don't matter because the kid doesn't have a clue. Mm-hmm. But at some point in that child's life, typically it's around their teenage years when those pictures seem to pop out, and there you are in your glory.
But also with that too is because of the whole, a lot of child porn that's going around and being on the internet, that it's so out there now. That too. I mean, there's people that have found their kids' pictures that have been circulated in child pornography rings, and people that are looking at this. And, if someone's in the neighborhood recognizes you and recognizes that kid, and they're like, now they're looking at that and they could take it further.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things that does kind of bother me too, is every now and then I'll throw a picture of my daughters up there and somebody will make a comment that's like, oh wait, I have never seen you comment on anything I've ever done. And all of a sudden you're commenting on my daughters.
Yeah.
That kind of raises a red flag to me sometimes.
Yeah.
And Anna brings up a point here, and I'm going to put that up on screen.
Anna.
So you can see that. And it says it is not acceptable the way social media is used for violating personal space and private experiences.
Yeah.
And it has been. And I don't think we've seen it as often in Facebook as we did until, I don't think it was as prevalent on Facebook until Snapchat came around. And then Facebook stories came around where everything was a 24-hour, there and gone. I think you started seeing more and more of it.
Stories of your life has gotten more in depth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In Snapchat, I had to take Snapchat off of my daughter's phones because young boys at her school were sending her dick pics. Well, I know.
Seriously?
Well, yes. Well, here's the problem with that. First of all, she don't need to be seeing that stuff at 16 years old. Second of all, what's up, Leland? Second of all, if that stuff stays on her phone, if for some reason, if for whatever reason she decides she is going to do a screenshot of that picture and that's on her phone, now all of a sudden I become responsible for any underage porn that's on her phone.
Oh, good point.
And she can be charged with child pornography, and I can be charged with child pornography at that point.
Yeah.
So there's, as parents, we have to be responsible in that route too. Now, if you're posting pictures of your children and they're in some pretty crazy poses, I mean, every now and then you catch that one shot where maybe you're at the beach and they're jumping off the boat and you take the picture, and that picture looks like something that some freak would get off on. That's not something you should be posting on social media. That's something you should probably either delete or put in your own personal picture file.
Yeah. I always find it interesting when I see certain pictures of kids, parents post of their kids. I think we sometimes think it's harmless, but it's unfortunate that we have to think beyond,
Sure.
we're not like that. And then, you hear of things that come up, how there's some sick people and how they use stuff and how they find these kids and how we think something could be so innocent in what we share, but uh, it it's used to
Yeah.
get to them. And anyway,
Yeah, and and the bad thing is that 16 years old, these boys, you're not that confident. Put it away.
you're not that. Oh
Anyhow,
God. Anywho,
so
yeah.
we go back. And we're there. And we're back. I agree with you. And we got to be more responsible with what we do with what we do as parents, especially when it comes to our children. I mean, you don't know how it's going to affect them. A lot of times, you may think an innocent photo could turn out to be something that's used against them in school. The other kids are absolutely horrific to each other.
Oh God, are they ever? It's brutal.
So
It's brutal.
you don't need to be adding fuel to that fire. Let them get through that phase of their life without having you being in the bully's corner.
And do their own stupid shit.
Yeah.
Need the parents to do stupid shit for them. Guaranteed
Yeah,
they'll do their own stupid shit.
yeah, my daughters take enough selfies of themselves. I don't need to help them out.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Oh man.
your son a selfie person? He seems like a good kid. I don't think he'd be a selfie person.
Oh my God, that kid doesn't even go on social media. Oh, I think he has an Instagram account. Yeah, he has an Instagram account, but nothing else. No, he doesn't get involved with that. He thinks most of the stuff that comes up is very silly. I don't have to worry about anything like that. I really, really don't.
Of you sometimes.
I really, really don't. And I'm very happy that I had a boy because I didn't want all that stuff.
Oh, Lynn just brought up when one woman warned that her young daughter's face was used in child porn to hide the victim. Yeah, you don't know who's taking those pictures. I mean,
yeah. Or figuring out where your neighborhood is, or what that thing is that you're using, or you've checked in at a certain hospital with your kid and you're posting a picture and they know you're there. And we don't think of these things. We need to think about these things more. So yeah, absolutely. Things to think about.
So many things. I mean, with technology that we have, with screenshots, with lasso tools, with just right click and save picture as, all that crap. People can steal the photos and do whatever they want with them. So be careful what you're putting out there.
Yeah. That's it. Yep. That's right. We're calling you out on that. Stop posting that.
Speaking of calling you out, it's that time. It's time to call out the call outs.
Call out the call outs. Yes, our hot topic tonight. And so I'm so glad you guys are joining us, because this is really interesting, and doing the research on this topic. It's really, really interesting. And you know what? Come back after if you think of something after, and add to the comments. We want to hear about it, because that's huge right now. Social media is so explosive right now, and anything that we can do to put some thought in discussion in this, because we're all about, let's think about things. And so you can always come back afterwards and do that. But before we get into that, I just want to write, if you're just joining us, next week's going to be like big party show. We're going to be celebrating our 1 year. 1 freaking year. So we're going to have a party. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have prizes. So you're going to make sure, go write it down right now. Get your damn pen and a piece of paper and write it down. You have to join us next Thursday. We're having a party. If you want to win a prize, then be sure to join us. And CJ's going to sing. He's going to sing. There's going to be a song to celebrate. So you're going to have to join us.
This is going to be like Animal House party. It's going to be great. But unfortunately, you do have to bring your own beverage. Coffee works good. I'm just going to say that. Coffee is fine.
Coffee and Bailey's, yes. I'm always... Look at my cup. See, how can you tell I'm Canadian? Look.
Hey, I just saw your beaver. Anyway.
Look at that, eh? It's a Tim Hortons mug.
Oh, nice. I can't believe you flashed your beaver on live
There you
Facebook.
go. There you go. Janet. Hey, Janet. Thanks for
Speaking of
joining us.
speaking of original audience members,
Janet, yep. Janet Gilmore. If you're
so yes,
local,
next week is going to be a whole lot of fun,
yes, it
and
is.
I think one of the things that we should do next week, and maybe you don't agree, but maybe I think one of the things we should do next week is maybe in preparing, we should go through some of our episodes and bring back some of our fun moments from the episodes. What do you think?
What do you mean bring back some of our, like, how? Like, what do you mean?
Because there were some things that have been said over the course. Maybe I'll do this in the his segment. I don't know. There were some things that was said over the course of our time together that required tissues, kind of like earlier tonight. And
Oh, God. Well, yeah.
could relive some of those moments and talk about some of the audience members who shared those moments with us and made them even more special.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have to, we definitely have to go back in time. We could have our new operations manager actually go back through some of our videos and find some of those moments in research for next week. Oh, my God.
But anyways, yes. But we're not going to talk about the past right now. We want to talk about what's coming up in the hot topic.
Yes.
And that's call out culture. And I want to start this topic off by talking a little bit about where this whole topic idea came from. Originally, I was driving to a job site and I was listening to NPR radio because I like listening to good talk radio. And NPR seems to set the standard when it comes to talk radio. And one of the gals, and I came into it halfway through the conversation, and they were talking about the call out culture and what it did to this young girl's life. And when I say young girl, I'm talking she was 17 years old when this happened.
Oh shit.
Yes, and what had happened is she was the call out girl. She was the one calling out all these injustices going on in her school, and it backfired on her. And because of this backlash of all the drama that she caused through this call out culture behavior, she is known throughout the entire community because it went into the local news, it went into the regional news, and she has been listed as a danger to society in her own community.
That's pretty intense.
That's extreme.
Danger
it's
to
extreme. Right. So, I mean, that's extreme. I understand that, but then NPR doesn't do anything unless it's extreme. So that got me thinking, well, what's this call out culture really about? I wanted to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brought it to the attention to become a topic on the show because I thought it was something that maybe we should talk about. In doing the research, and thank you to Lynn for hooking us up with some amazing research materials. But that wasn't, we couldn't just go based on just that. We had to do some additional research, and going through the research, I know you found some pretty awesome things, and we're going to go through those. And I found some interesting things, and we're going to touch on some of those. But I'll admit, this whole call out culture thing is way bigger than I ever thought it was.
And that's usually the case. That's usually the case, right? So all we ever usually see out there is really just the tip of the iceberg of things. And so I think that, in doing the research and looking at it a little bit more, it's a little bit clearer what it is. Calling out, it's not just like saying, hey, this, talking about somebody or something. It really is much more than that. And of course, we want to leave you, by the end of this, we want to leave you with a few things, 4 things that, you could think about. Because that seems to be the thing right now, the flavor right now of the day is to call out.
Mhm.
That's the big thing, and we're seeing that all over, is calling out people, calling out organizations, calling out, we're seeing it through video or just posts or whatever the case may be. And it was interesting to learn exactly what it is. And, sort of a brief definition is calling out, attention to instances or patterns of oppression, behavior, or language that's used by others. That's a real simple definition of it. But I think then it can be toxic. And while I'm all for calling out, I think you have to be really careful about it, because like you started off saying, it can become very toxic and one of the reasons, because I think it's heavily promotes, instigates, supports, influences, um, I can't think of the other word I wanted to say, incites armchair activism, which does no good.
No, in the movement in itself, it's a very much an activist movement. It's a very progressive movement, and I think a lot of people, when they get involved in these things, like you were saying, that armchair activists, they have some information, but they don't have all the information.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
where the
lazy.
toxicity come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we're seeing it where it becomes toxic is people are calling out a group, but usually a person, for a single incident rather than a habitual pattern or the history of something. It's usually one thing. This person did this. They're a piece of crap. I'm calling them out. Watch out for this person. And that is not really what call out culture is, but that's where it turns toxic, is people just feel, well, this is what it is now, and we call out people, and we've got that, it's promoted to speak up now and speak your mind, and that's where it gets toxic.
Well, here's an example of call out culture at its worst. They're at a time in our not so recent history, but time in history, a man stood amongst other men and women, and they basically called out an entire race of people, which led to the genocide and almost in an extinction. Well, at least they tried to, send this entire race of people to extinction. And I'm talking the culture I'm talking about is the Hitler Nazi culture. That was very much a call out culture movement. Everything that was wrong was the Jews' fault. Everything that happened, the fall of the economy became a Jewish problem. Mm-hmm. Hitler used that as a springboard to be able to launch his Nazi party and to be able to create a world of hate, and it was very much. I mean, if you look at everything that you learned in history about the Nazi regime and Hitler and the people surrounding Hitler, you can see the direct connection to the call out culture and what we're going through, even now today, with what we have going on around us every single day. We see this happening. I think Black Lives Matter. You can talk about the LGBTQ TQ community. You can talk about
the Me Too thing.
The Me Too thing. You can talk about the political race thing. I mean, there's so much going on around us in everyday life. Mm-hmm. And is it as extreme as the Nazi example that I just gave? Well, no, but it still exists, and there still could be negative ramifications from it. And we are going to talk about a few points to help you realize the difference between accountability, of which this is really should be used for, is accountability, and not so much the
pointing fingers. It's not pointing fingers or. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's really about accountability. It's not just, is there a time where, I think it has to be more than just, one wrongdoing, like someone who's done you wrong. I mean, that, I don't think that warrants calling somebody out, because
No.
that's always going to happen. There's always going to be some asshole that's going to like do you wrong. We
Yeah.
get screwed over in life. Shit happens, right? It's when it happens over and over and you hear it happening to other people. And I'm always wondering what the thing to do is. And sometimes you'll see posts on social media about this. This happened. This person has done this, and they'll tell their story, but no one names names. And they
Right.
know that that's happened to other people, and there's been a whole bunch of people that have been done wrong by this person. And I always think to myself, why is nobody saying anything? Because if that person has done it to this many people, then let's stop that person from doing it. So do we call out and call names, or do we do what I've also been seeing in doing research for the calling out culture is the calling in, which is you have a private conversation with that person.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do? I always think, well, I want to know who that is. Like, I want to know who that is you're talking about. I don't want to get screwed over because I'm looking for a graphic designer or a copywriter or a business coach or whatever the case may be. I don't want to happen to pick that person and get screwed.
Right. And here's the thing. If you're going to call somebody out, for example, I have done this myself. I have called people out, but it's never been for personal gain. It's never been for personal pleasure. It's never been because I wanted to be a dick to that person, so I'm going to call them out. It's always been for the good of the people around me. I don't want to see other people hurt by this person, so I'm going to call them out. I've done
Mm-hmm.
that. I've done that publicly. And the difference is you have to take the responsibility. You really, I mean, there's a lot of responsibility that falls on your shoulders when you do call somebody else out on that, because you have to check yourself.
Yeah.
You really have to look at it. Am I doing this because I'm pissed off at that person, or am I doing that because I don't want them to hurt other people? Are you
Mm-hmm.
doing it for the good of the community, or are you doing it for your own benefit?
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is you're doing it for your own benefit, you really have to be you really have to look at that backlash. What's going to happen? How is this going to turn out? It's
So what do you think about that? When people post something like that and they talk about it and they say it, it's more than once, it's other people. I mean, I saw one time, so I can't remember what it was. And I actually saw you comment on their post saying, I think I should name names here. Like, I think you need to
Well, I think if you're going to hold somebody accountable, you have to hold them accountable to the degree that you have to put a name to in a face to that. You can't just say, oh, this person or that person, and then leave it blank. There has to be some sort of way to hold that person accountable.
mm-hmm,
If you don't put a name to it, and I get it. There's the call. I think the calling in thing is absolutely brilliant. If it's something that needs to be handled where it's a one-time thing, you talk to that person face to face, or whatever. But when it comes to just saying, hey, this person isn't happy with what you're doing, blah blah blah. Well, tell me who that person is. Tell me
mm-hmm,
why. Give me an example. Give me something to go with, because you can't fix a problem unless you know where the problem's coming from.
yeah,
Uh, there's
exactly.
there's absolutely no solution to be had through third parties. Period.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You have to go to the source of the problem in order to create a solution.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have seen incidences where people do call out, and it does not go well for the person that does that. But I think that's because you don't understand. And in doing the research on this, it was interesting on. Uh, it's a very interesting human behavior thing on how some people are, hailed as heroes for calling out, and other people just get like trashed for calling out, and 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 now I know why. Now I know why I'm watching it, and looking at this and how it's, is it people call out, if you're calling out for a one-time deal, it looks shitty because um, you look like you're whining, or you're being a victim, or you just want to get back at them and things like that. And it really is, it's not a personal thing at all. It's not about you. And I think it's when people start making it about them, that's where it doesn't work.
And typically, if you see one person calling out a group of people, or even a single individual, it's typically something you did against that person, or that group did against that person. When you see a group of people calling out, now I brought up Black Lives Matter earlier. This is a group of people calling out another group of people. There's validity there. There's strength there. There's a true reason there. Is every reason clear? No, it's not. I'm not saying that that's the perfect example. I'm just saying that's an example of people trying to do what they believe is right.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody believes that it's right. But it is what it is. I'm not.
So that girl you were telling that story at the beginning, that it's turned on her. What, like, was it all personal? Like, it was all about her, and she was just like whining, and
it was see, and I didn't hear the whole story because I came into it halfway through, but I heard enough to give me a reason to want to look more into it. Not necessarily the story, but the culture, the call out culture. I want to know more about it. And in listening to the end of the story and what it was kind of going on, what I was able to gather from the story was she, was a member of the LGBTQ or TQ community, and she was basically calling out other people for, this, that, and the other, and it backlashed on her because she was doing it from a personal standpoint versus a community standpoint.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the interesting points that I read about.
That's a hot one though. The LGBTQ. I'm never going to get those letters right.
I know I never do either. Please, and I apologize because I never can either. But that's one of the points I was reading about, was that if you are aligned with a group and you take it upon yourself to call out, then without knowing what the goal is of the group or what their feelings are about something or anything like that, then that will backfire, and that is definitely something that's more that is much more putting the spotlight on you rather than the group. So I could see that definitely going.
Well, I think a lot of people, they get involved in something, they consume themselves with something they want. They have the right intention when they first get started in their activism, whatever you call it. Yeah. They have the right intention, and it consumes them so much that they don't necessarily see the big picture. They see what's right there in front of them, and they want to stand out and show how much of a super activist they are, and they go above and beyond, and then they end up hurting themselves and the entire group at the same time.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to what Evelyn was saying too. Is it knee jerk? I think sometimes it is knee jerk.
Yeah,
I think that goes a little bit with what you were saying. Yeah, exactly. I think some people just feel like they have to be the hero for frickin' everything.
Yeah, and it's
they have to call out everything.
That everything that I've read, every bit of, and I went through. I bet you I went through 12 or 13 different pages of call out culture stuff, and some of it was great, some of it was not so great, but it seemed like every single one of them that talked about the negative side of call out culture because they every single page said the good and the bad. The negative part always came down to the super activist wanting to prove that they're the hero of the group.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that was the common denominator is somebody is they took it upon themselves to act beyond what the group or the community wanted, what they were trying
Yes.
to.
Yeah. Same thing. Same thing. Much more self-serving than it really was. Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to know if anybody that's watching has done that. Have you called out a group? Have you called anyone out? Have you what's your experience? Have you done it? Um, yeah, some of those petitions, yeah, they are really, really ridiculous because someone doesn't like something. Yeah, oh, and I wish I could remember. There was one that long ago, and I thought, really? Like, really? You're going through that much trouble for this? Shit, I wish I could remember what it was. And I just thought, and most of them I won't sign because it's just somebody who's, I don't know, they got nothing better to do or their feelings are hurt or whatever. And it really doesn't, it's really
we had
not that important.
we had a petition that went around. Oh gosh, must have been about a year and a half ago now, and it seems to come around about every summer, around summertime, and that's the whole legalized marijuana thing. I will say this: I do not smoke weed, but I don't have a problem if anybody else smokes weed.
Hmm.
Doesn't bother me whatsoever. However, I am not going to sign a petition that I don't know what the intent is for that petition.
Mm.
You could say, "Hey, this is a petition to get legalized marijuana on the docket to go through and become a law." Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. However, what else is tied to it? If I don't know everything about what it is that's tied to that petition, because typically they'll stack a lot of
Yeah.
different things into a single petition.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a lobbyist. A lobbyist, they might be trying to get 4 or 5 bills on the docket, and they'll hit the hot topic, legalize marijuana. Everybody wants to legalize marijuana. Look what it's done for all these states. It's lowered crime. It's raised capital. Blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
then next thing you know, it's like reduced sentences for sex offenders and all these other things that you would never put your name to, but you just put your name to it because you didn't understand the full scope of what they're petitioning for. So,
Yeah, that went around here lots too. But finally it is here. Um, yeah, there was one somebody wanted me to sign that came around. I can't remember what it was. And yeah, I didn't know anything about it. Maybe it wasn't a petition. It might have been something else. I'm so bad. My memory is so bad. Um, and I just thought, you're giving me no information. You want some kind of backing. You want me to do something for you. And I don't even know anything about it. So anyway.
so Evelyn says, I did on a petition for the women who didn't like Trump. No real purpose. When the march happened,
Yeah.
I called it a feel good petition. I got blocked.
People don't like, you know, people,
Yeah, it's
when you say what something is, when you call a thing and people don't like that because it doesn't, yeah, that's funny.
well,
That's funny.
that's a good example though of call out culture. I mean, look at what they did during this election. Both parties were absolutely horrific when it comes
Yes.
to the call out culture. I mean, there were so many divisions of people. It was obscene.
Yeah.
We got to separate the blacks from the whites. We got to separate the Mexicans from the whites. We got to
And all
separate
self-serving.
every bit of it was self-serving.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we ended up where we ended up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and nobody won, and there's no group of people won anything because we're still divided in a lot of things. So
Yeah, we just have a lot of self-righteous people now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And where do we go from here though? I mean, seriously, if with the call out culture being what it is, it's not going to go away anytime soon. We're not going to
No, it's
stop
not.
it from happening. It's in fact, it's probably going to continue to grow and continue to be a thing. So where do we go though? How do we
Where do
police
we
ourselves?
go? I think, like anything else, we have to take personal responsibility for our own actions. Absolutely. I think we need to be informed. I cannot stand when I see stuff out there, or people say things or share things or whatever it is, and they haven't taken any time, any personal responsibility in anything that they share, or without finding out. Everybody's a freaking expert. And I think we have to take personal responsibility for the energy we bring to this world, to anywhere we go, to the people that we interact with. It is our responsibility to do that. And I think with this call out culture, I think there's, like anything, there's pros and cons to anything. I think anything can turn negative. Um, but I think there's definitely a benefit to it, because I think for a long time, a lot of people and a lot of organizations have gotten away with a lot of things that they shouldn't have. So I think, with all the stuff that's going on, it's brought that about now, this call out culture. But I think we have to take personal responsibility and keep it as a positive thing, so it doesn't go by the wayside, and that when people or organizations are called out, it's not going to fall on deaf ears because people are so sick of the call out culture. I think we have to take personal responsibility on that, and we have to look at what it really is. And we have to think about some things before we're going to do that. So it's not a knee jerk, I'm offended, my feelings are hurt, woe is me, take pity on me. There's some things that we need to think about first. And going through all this stuff, I came up with like 4 things that we can each individually help guide us before we're going to call somebody or something out. So this is what I have.
All right, let's get started. What's number 1?
So number 1 is your call out. Is it focused? A sign that it's not really what a call out should be, which is about accountability. It's not focused on the outcome at all. It's in the moment. It's a one-time thing. It's not focused at all of what the outcome could be from it. What's the benefit? What's the overall benefit that it's going to provide? How is it going to help? So if it's not focused on the outcome at all, think about that. Is it? Are you focused on the outcome? What is it? Have you thought about it? And yes, Evelyn, you're right. You gotta be a little learned on topics. So I think you got to be focused on the outcome of it. What's going to happen?
We discussed this in a show previously when we were talking about feminism. A lot of the reasons why feminism hasn't worked over the years is because there's no focus goal. There's too many different factions going too many different directions. There's not one goal to focus on. So we can see in real time where failure is coming from when you don't have a focus on your goal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Number 2, and we kind of touched on this briefly, is not choosing battles based on what's best for the community involved. So we talked about this with the LGBTQ community, how your involvement, you use that as sort of like, hey, I'm part of this community, and I'm calling you out, without really knowing what the overall goal is of the community. So, you gotta, what's the focus of the community? So don't choose battles based on that. Number 3.
I was going to say, I got nothing. Yeah, I've pretty much said everything I needed to say.
Well, we already kind of touched on that. Number 3, if another tip, if it's not a real call out, is, use the same strategy for every situation. And it all feels the same. Feels like it doesn't matter what it is you're talking about. Your strategy is the same. And we talked about this. We touched on this as well. You feel the need to fight every friggin' battle and injustice that's out there. Like you're the one that's, the chosen one to fight every battle. And you do it the same way all the time. And it just really looks old, feels old, doesn't get anywhere.
I mean, look, even Jerry Springer got canceled.
Exactly. And the last one, which is actually what I see the most out there in call out culture, is we call people out for shaming and judging by shaming and judging them.
Yeah, it's like like I told you before the show. I didn't like this because didn't like this topic, and I can't remember exactly what we see. I'm just going to bring up the words that I used because the words I used was about
It's
perfect.
good. If you guys knew what went on behind the scenes of us putting Grit and Grace on, like the conversations we have, and
I'm surprised this even came together. But anyways, the comment that I sent in was, I know I brought this topic to the table, but after doing some more research, I'm just gonna say it. I fucking hate it. Worst part is, if I call these people what they are, I become what they are, a bunch of judgmental little bitches.
An hour before the show starts.
Yeah.
This is what I get.
Yeah. So, I can't imagine what's going on through her head, but then that's me. I just say what's on my mind and I'll throw it at her, and hey, we
make it work. We make it
still here.
Work.
She hasn't fired me yet. I still have a job.
Oh God. So, and here we are, and so there you go. There's four things, because we like to leave you with something to think about, to think about it. 4 tips that it maybe is not a real call out. It's not focused on the outcome. You're not choosing the battle based on what's best for the community. It's the same strategy all the time. You're just standing up for everything, and you're just yelling about everything that you feel is just wrong. And you're calling out people by shaming and judging them for shaming and judging.
So there you have it. Call out culture. We're not going to change the world, but we did start the conversation. And now it's up to you to carry on that conversation. If it's something that you feel that needs more conversation, please post it up. Let us know what happens. We'd like to revisit the results that you find.
Yeah, absolutely.
And absolutely. Also, we would love you to challenge us with some topics that you would like to hear us talk about. Send us in a challenge. Make us do some research. Put us to work. Because we're here to do this for you. And to do that, all you got to do is go over to gritandgracetv.com, and you can put that in that anonymous tab. If you got questions you want answered, you can put that in there too, fully anonymous. So if the question might be a little bit embarrassing, or maybe it's even a little bit taboo and you don't necessarily want to put your name to it, you don't have to. All you got to do is just type it in and send.
Absolutely. Do it.
We do not know who sends it. We really don't.
Yeah, and any questions or anything too, we can start off the show with questions. And I think we did have another question, but we didn't do it because I really wanted to update you on some things. So, yeah. So do that and go to our website and go check out our resources tab. If you're new around here, go to the website and check out the resources tab. We've got some great downloads there based on past shows that we did. Some PDFs. Very first show we started with was the grit test. Go and take that. A year ago. That was like a year ago.
Yeah, that we actually started Grit and Grace. We had the official launch of May 4th. And that was our goal, but we wanted to generate some buzz going into it. We wanted to create something that was going to carry us throughout the years. And so we started off a week early with the grit test. And oh man, I learned a lot about myself. Our pre-shows, they were so much fun, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about you as my co-host. I learned a lot about our audience through doing this grit test. And if you are new to the show, go back and check that out. It's timeless. It is absolutely timeless.
They were short shows too. They were like 15, 20 minutes. And some of them we killed ourselves laughing.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were. They really were. So we're going to celebrate next week. We're going to celebrate. Join us. We're going to have a party, celebrate our 1 year. We're going to have some giveaways. You have to watch. You have to at least say hi in the comments to be entered. And yeah, we're gonna give some stuff away. We're gonna give some prizes. But you have
It's
to
gonna,
join us.
and I'm gonna sing.
CJ's gonna sing. So hold him accountable. Hold him accountable. If he
Yeah, call
doesn't, you
me
gotta call him out next week.
or call me in. One of the two. Either
That's
way.
right. That's
But
right.
we're gonna have fun with it. I promise you, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Totally.
And I still have just as much fun now doing the show as I did a year ago. In fact, I'm having more fun because we're always learning new things. We're always learning, we're having fun, creating more memories, and that's really what this is about. It's not for me personally. Doing this here isn't about becoming anything special. It's just about creating memories and having a good time. So next
Yeah.
week we're gonna do just that. We're
That's
gonna
right.
create some memories.
That's right. Yes, we are. So until then, be sure to join us. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. We're gonna have a
Hey,
party.
and hey, folks, I do want to remind you, go on over to milehighradio.com. Check out the shows. We've got, oh my gosh, I say we've, but and not really me. It's Lynn. But but I'm part of the family there too. So
Yes, you are.
that's what it is. It's a family of shows. There are some great shows there, and oh wow, it you if you want to have something to just kind of sit back and chill and listen to, open up a tab, listen to the shows. I promise you, you're not gonna regret it.
And you can hear CJ's Raw and Real episodes on Saturdays. So Saturdays and Sundays are good. All days are good days, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm partial to my people on Saturdays.
And if you've got something else to share, please do it in the Facebook page. We
Yes.
love the interaction on that Facebook page. So facebook.com/Grit and Grace TV. That's where we're all at right now. So please leave us something. Give us something. Please. A bag.
Please.
A bag. So until next week, everybody, thank you
Good
very much for
weekend.
watching. Have a good weekend, and we'll be seeing you.
See y'all.
Beaver shot.
Hmm.
Another beaver shot.